Oh my god. Oh, wait. Oh my goodness. The Hawk season has started. The Hawks are back! Oh my gosh, I was waiting all summer for this. Whoo! Oh my goodness, we can start now. We can finally come out of our retirement and start recording again. Oh, oh gosh. Who's with me? James? James, what's up, man? I got you recording with me on the first day. James,
Yes.
What is happening? We survived the summer. Oh my goodness.
Summer's done. Summer's done. We are back in Hawks basketball. It feels good to be back on, man.
Oh my goodness. So much happening like this off season. Just with me, with you, with the team, with everything. Garrick, all of our crazy guests. Oh man. But we are back. We have basically like a new Hawks team out on the floor right now. And hey, the season has finally started. James, I don't know how to feel right now, man. Tell me something positive.
Well, I mean, there's lots of positives. Hawks are 2-0 to start the season. So that's all the positives you need right now. Hawks are looking good. I mean, they've won both their games by double digits. So that's something else to cheer about. And, looks like so far the Dwight experiment's going on pretty well. Especially, maybe not doing as well in his second game. But, the first game, he looked very dominant on the floor.
Well, all right. Well, let's just jump into it. Game one against the Washington Wizards. I guess we could call this a rivalry now. I don't know. Anywho, game one. This, James, was the game that Hawks fans needed. Like, we as Hawks fans needed that game. Why did we need it, you ask? Like, all of our questions came into that game, and we saw it. Dwight Howard rebounding. 19 rebounds. Like, the man got the ball. And I didn't see any stick 'em. Can't use that joke anymore. Okay, but Dwight Howard got the ball. Man, he was going after the rebounds. His first points was off an offensive rebound. Like, don't tell me you weren't watching that game in person. By the way, everybody, James is awesome. He went to the game in person. But tell me you were watching that game and thought, oh my goodness, an offensive rebound.
Oh, no. Trust me. I was thinking that the whole way through, just the amount of boards we were grabbing so early in the beginning. My buddy Nick and I were just kind of looking back and forth with the board. And it looks like, at least for the first couple minutes, the first 15 minutes or so, Dwight Howard was grabbing one board per minute. And we were just really excited to see not only all the offensive rebounding, but all the defensive rebounding as well. Just offensive or just rebounds on both sides of the floor. It was just an amazing sight to see out there. And it was just mind-boggling how, I won't say how different this Hawks team was, but it was just mind-boggling, how they were used their assets on the floor to the best of their potential.
Oh, yeah. So Dwight got every single rebound. Dwight was a heck of a defensive presence. This is the game we needed, kind of for my questions of how this is. And I don't know, it's just odd to see a player that we have in the post not getting pushed around. That was my thing. Because Gortat is a big guy. He's not small at all. He is a big guy. And Dwight, not only was able just to keep him off the boards, but he was pushing him around. The guy is so strong. It was just really fun and neat to watch. Oh my goodness, we are actually dominating the rebounding battle.
Yeah, it's I think one of the big things they were talking about during the offseason was his shoulder mass. How much his shoulder mass had gotten between, the beginning of the offseason towards the end of the offseason. I think they say it was an inch and a half bigger it got. And I mean, it showed. You're absolutely right.
Insane.
It's just insane, how much work ethic he's been putting into the offseason and how it's translating now into the regular season.
Yeah. Maybe the shoulder mass is helping with pushing around. But, man, I just remember back in the day, and by back in the day, I mean the past 10 years, a player like Gortat would push us around so much. And
absolutely.
We were the ones doing the bullying. I'm not used to that. It was shocking to me. I don't know if a lot of fans out there, and I'm sure our listeners did notice this, but it's just like we were the ones. Dwight was the one pushing him around.
Well,
Oh my god.
not only Dwight, but that one instance with John Wall and Kent Bazemore as well. Like Bazemore looked pretty physical out there, and so did Dennis Schroeder. Those three right there are probably the most physical, players I've seen so far. At least within that first game.
Yeah.
And then it led to and it didn't lead to a flagrant. It was like more of it was a technical foul on Bazemore for that whole situation, right? I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember if it was.
Oh yeah.
But it was just you got your heart pumping while you're at the game, watching how physical these guys were, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is so exciting. And the crowd was really getting into it, booing John Wall, but cheering on like Dennis and Dwight and Kent and everybody. It was just amazing to see that crowd reaction out there.
So watching it from my phone, because for whatever reason, League Pass does not work on my laptop or PlayStation, only on my tablet and my phone. I don't know why. For live games, that is. But
yeah,
that entrance for Dwight when he came into the game, like when they introduced him, I don't think I've seen anything like that. Just with how the crowd was reacting and everything like that.
Yeah, he's probably the biggest superstar we've had on this Hawks team in quite a while. Dwight Howard's a big name brand, and to have him on your team, a team that hasn't really had like a big name brand in the franchise for quite a while. I mean, it's going to bring in a lot of people, and it's going to get the people going. It was a sight to see. The amount of people coming in, really cheering on the Hawks. And even with Dwight Howard out there, like it was great seeing a star out there, seeing that star power.
Yeah,
and it was just great. It was a great experience overall and all around.
All right. Well, let's talk about the positives, at least that I saw. I will go into it, and we'll just spend a little bit of time on it. I pretty much mentioned all thing that is Dwight Howard. All things. Man, he was such a presence out there.
Mm-hmm.
The fans loved him. That was just something that was neat to me. The fans loved him. 19 rebounds, 3 blocks. I don't know how many contested shots that he had, but you could see a couple of shots guys had to make, like, put a little bit more on the arc because of him. All right, well, let's since we're talking about Dwight, we'll go to the bigs. We'll talk about the big rotation. Paul Millsap is still that dude. Paul Millsap can score in a bunch of ways. He looked healed to me out there. I don't know about you, but he looked healed. Did you see anything from Millsap? Like, he's still that dude.
Yeah, he's still that dude. I mean, there wasn't really much of a transition. It's like he's still the same Paul Millsap, who's able to score and also get rebounds here and there as well. Like, he's a guy who can get a double-double when you need him to get a double-double. Like, he's still that guy out there. I absolutely agree with that assessment.
Yeah. Millsap is still just scoring in every which way. And he looks like he's just continued from last season. But since we're talking about the bigs, let me go to my biggest surprise right now. The Hawks initiated a big rotation that consisted of Dwight Millsap, and the big surprise to me coming off the bench, Mike Muscala.
Yeah, man, Mike Muscala. I'm just as shocked as you are with him as well.
And not just Mike Muscala, but just like Mike Moose, like I don't know, every nickname involved. He was playing really well. Like, he was great on defense, making smart passes, hitting the open jumpers. Mike Muscala was playing really, really well. I don't know what to say. Like, that rotation between the three of Moose, Dwight, and Millsap, like that. At all times, there is size on the floor.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of the power is coming from his new hairdo with the man bun.
Oh yeah,
but he does. in all seriousness, the guy looks a lot bigger. Like he's one of the other ones that looks like he's been working out during the off season, like trying to improve his mass. Not only during the Wizards game, but also in the Sixers game as well. He was getting points in. He was also pulling in rebounds as well. He's looked very impressive, and I think I like what one person I was reading on the Reddit board, what they were saying, what their analysis was. They said that it was like it was someone giving like an Al Horford like performance, but for a lot cheaper than Al Horford.
Yeah.
Was their assessment. I'm not sure how you feel about that.
There were some moves I saw on offense that gave me the reminiscence of Horford. Same with defense, because despite Muscala's size, he is very quick, like very quick for that size. He's able to get into passing lanes. He was basically perfect to like he is better than what I was thinking like his potential was. Just like he was so good to me and what he was able to give that I was like, wait a second, we might have something here. Like, I mean, credit to that coaching staff. Just all the credit to that.
And I think that shows what Bud's able to do in terms of taking the assets that he has and then using that talent to the best of their ability and the best of their potential, which is showing so far in these first two games.
Yeah. So, talked about the rotation. Let's move to Cephalosha. Cephalosha seems to have recovered. Cephalosha, what is this offense in this burst of speed? He looks like 4 years younger, at least.
Absolutely.
I don't know,
yeah.
Small sample size, but I'm just kind of like, wow.
Yeah. Like, did you see the reverse dunk that he had against the Wizards?
I saw the reverse dunk.
The reverse dunk was a thing of beauty. That was I think that was one of the main things that got the crowd really going was when he pulled off that reverse dunk. And that just, that got everybody's spirits up in that instance. That was like a real treat to see. And like we were talking about, it's like, Cephalosha really improving on the offensive side. Like both games so far, I've really enjoyed his work that he's done.
Not just offense, but just like him, I don't know, just how active
overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, since we're on the wing position, Kyle Korver had a good game two. Kyle Korver is always solid. Don't leave the dude open. But the thing that really shocked me, Tim Hardaway Jr. The guy was struggling all through preseason. But you know what? He had 2 solid games. Don't tell anybody this, but the man had 2 very solid games. He didn't look lost on defense. He was scoring when need be. If Hardaway, I'm not going to get too excited because it's still early in the year, but if we can just get this kind of consistency from Hardaway, the Hawks, we might have it better than what we thought season.
Absolutely. Like I think a lot of people were shocked, Tim Hardaway Jr. coming out there again, 19 points in that game against the Wizards. Like he was just deadly accurate. And from any side of the court, he was just able to, it felt like score at will.
Yeah.
Now, the game against the Sixers, didn't have as much success, but, I still think it's, it's a pretty good sight to see what he's been able to do so far. Definitely flip of the coin versus what he was doing in the preseason. But, it's very comforting to see. And like you said, small sample size. So definitely want to see what he's able to do in the next couple of games that we got coming up this week.
Yeah. He was good. I thought it was a huge success. And, I thought everybody played well. Dennis isn't making as many stupid fouls, and he isn't really over-dribbling. Now, I continue to hope that he improves. But let me, since I'm talking about Dennis, let me go to, I guess, what you would call bad. I don't know. I thought Dennis was solid in his first 2 games. I didn't have an issue from him. He's hitting those jumpers you don't think he'll make, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But the thing I want to ask you about is Malcolm Delaney.
Yeah.
I think he's still adjusting. The first game, he just looked like a regular backup. The second game, I don't know. It's because it's so obvious that the point guard play has dropped, and that's what's going to happen when you have, Jeff and Dennis as your point guards. But
Hmm.
what did you think of Delaney, if you saw anything out of him?
Yeah. I think the big thing with Delaney, he wasn't scoring as many points, but he also was struggling a little bit on defense as well. And I think I definitely agree with you. I think it's just still getting an adjustment to playing in the NBA versus playing in the Euro leagues. You're playing against bigger and better competition within the NBA, so it's definitely going to take him a little bit of time to adjust to how the NBA plays. But I do think he's going to be able to adjust. We'll just have to see within the next couple of weeks. But it does put a little bit of a hamper if he doesn't do as well as a lot of people think he will. Just because he's the second guy out of 2 point guards on this Hawks roster. There are no other point guards. I'm trying to think who they've been talking about, acting as that third person in case one of them gets injured. I've heard Bazemore and I want to say Cephalosha. I don't know why. No, not Cephalosha. I think they've just been
They
throwing
ran
out Bazemore.
they ran Hardaway out there as a third point guard at a point in
That's
the
true.
first game. But yeah, I think as long as the guys just continue to move the ball and you have someone that can, like, I don't know, some players with good passing ability, even though they're
Yeah.
technically not a point guard out there, they might be okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
And some of the guys, might not be able to score that many points, but they're able to get a lot of, like you said, passing, get some good assists in there, which creates offense, which creates points from other players. And I think I got a little bit of that when Heinrich was there during his last stint for a couple of games. He didn't score that many points, but he was able to get assists here and there. Um,
yeah,
so I guess the big thing is limit turnovers, but be able to create offense one way or the other.
yeah. Well, uh, boy, I don't know,
Yeah.
but we will see. And kind of like my last thing of question is,
Hmm.
do we need to get Dwight the ball more? Because it seems like he's not really getting a ton of touches. And I feel like for all the talk about the pick and roll game, we haven't really seen him involved in it as much. That's my last question. Now, granted, it's
Yeah.
still the first season, for still first, a couple games. So I feel like, as time goes on, he should get integrated more into the
Hmm.
offense. But
Yeah, I think the thing right now is since Dwight's such a big commodity, you have people covering him a little bit more, which creates less of an opportunity to get him the ball. So you want to me, I wouldn't try forcing it in there, trying to force get the ball. At this point, create what you can on the outside if they're covering him very hard like they are right now, and the Hawks have been able to do that so far. Once you kind of open up on the outside, that lets you get a little bit more access towards the inside, more towards the paint. So I think the Hawks have to be able to kind of create from that 3 point area, the outer parts of the arc. But I think once they get the system rolling a little bit, like I said, 2 games in, there's 80 more games within the season, so let it develop a little bit more, and I'm pretty sure we'll see Howard get a lot more offensive involvement. Didn't like with the Sixers game, for instance. Didn't really see much of him. I think he only had like five. It was like 5 rebounds total. I may have been reading that wrong in terms of his rebound production, but he didn't really score that much either. So it might be a couple games in before he's really packing in. But we're getting offense from other sides of the ball. I think the big thing especially with that Sixers game is we saw Muscala produce.
oh, did I lose you?
No, no, I'm still on.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
sorry.
No, it's
You went
no,
out
it's
for a
all good.
second. You were just saying Muscala produced.
Yeah,
Anyway,
producing. Yeah, all and the other centers on the floor producing as well. you know, Humphreys led the team in rebounds for that game against the 76ers, which was pretty good. Didn't get quite as many points, but still leading the team in rebounds. So I think it's even with Dwight not as active, the entire team itself was able to do a good job and everything.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This may be something we may want to watch in the future, but overall,
Absolutely.
let's, good start to a season, 2 wins, very solid. Man, I really have nothing else to say. I don't want to really go on forever with this recording, so we might get off soon. James, thank you for joining me. Hopefully, I was hoping to get Garrick on here, and I could talk to him about all the crazy, stupid TV shows I watch. Hopefully,
I was. I know what you're probably going to say, but should I start watching Atlanta?
That's exactly what I was going. Man, we are like this, man. We are good.
I haven't watched an episode yet. I just haven't had a chance to really watch any episodes of Atlanta. I've seen that one scene with the transracial segment.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've seen so far because it popped up on Reddit. It looks like it's Donald Glover, so it shouldn't be. I should be expecting a pretty good product.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that and all the other random shows I'll have to get you to watch that I do because they're weird.
What do you think about the next 4 games coming up?
Who are we playing? We have Sacramento.
We have Sacramento, the Lakers, the Wizards in Washington, and then the Rockets.
Wizards might be tough just because they're looking to, get revenge.
Mm-hmm.
The Rockets game concerns me in the sense that offense, we seem to have slowed the pace down for this, at least through the first 2 games. So the Rockets offense, if it is as D'Antoni-ish as I think it is, they may run us to death, but I don't know. And as far as the Kings, man, is Boogie going to play? Because I saw that thing where he ran into the stands after he got fouled out. And I was wondering, is that an automatic ejection or not? I figure he'll play. But
yeah, I mean, and when's the last time we've beaten Sacramento? I'm trying to think, because they're pretty much like, constant monkey on our back in terms of, trying to get past them and everything. So I think that's going to be an interesting game.
We lost to them in Sacramento last year. I want to say we won at home, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, looking forward to it, but I'm still trying to dissect kind of how the team is because I still don't understand how the team is. I still don't know.
Yeah, and I think it's going to take a couple of games for us to really delve in to it. I'm hoping about 8 games in kind of find a identity for this team in terms of what they're able to do. But still, winning your first 2 games by double digits, is pretty good for. So or at least we're seeing our defense producing. We've scored over 100 points as well in those first 2 games as well. So. We're producing a lot on offense. We're able to keep other teams at bay on defense in terms of scoring. So I think, I think so far so good. And hopefully they're able to keep up this production and, progress this production as the season goes on. But, time will tell.
Heck yeah, man. And for those people screaming that it was only the 76ers, look, we did what we needed to do was beat them in a blowout. So I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, James, thank you for joining me today on this opening episode of CawCast. Hopefully I'll get this up soon.
Yeah, man. It's a pleasure coming on and everything. I always enjoy talking about the Hawks with you, man.
Always fun. Anyway, appreciate it, man. And I will I don't know. We'll catch up next time. But tune in for the next episode, guys. Thank you.